Here's the data challenge. I've got a 2 meg zip file with 20 folders, multiple subfolders, and nearly 1800 data files scattered throughout. Zero documentation, no guide telling me where anything is or what format it's in. This is my Amazon Kindle purchase history. Amazon sent me the zip file when I requested my data, but they don't make it easy for me to get what I want. A simple list of all the Kindle books I've ever bought. So, what are my options? I could manually dig to every subfolder and file, but no, that's not happening. I could whip up a Python script to read the headers from each file, then manually review and piece together the data structure. That would work, but it's still a bit of a pain. But what about Claude Code? We know it can build software. It's been hyped up for quite a while. But can it handle data engineering work? The exploration, the extraction, the analysis? Watch me test this. If you've got an undocumented data dump, this may be the solution for you. But first, I'll quickly try the tools I'd usually use for small files. Before I turn to Claude Code, I'll quickly check out what the standard chatbots can do. I have a paid version of Claude. I have the paid version of Perplexity. I use free ChatGPT and free Google Gemini. Let's see what ChatGPT can do. I will upload a zip file. Please describe the contents. So in this folder, I have the zip file and I have it unzipped too, but I'll give ChatGPT the zip file. Bear in mind it is 2 meg. I don't know if the free version will accept this. Hit run. The zip contains one main directory. That's not true. If I go to the unzip folder, it contains a lot of directories. The one that it's found is this one. Now, I'll give it plaudits because that actually has much of the information that I really want. Not all of it. If I open the first JSON file here, this has the acquired date, purchase date there, book title, the unique book number, that's an industry unique number. What it doesn't have is author details or the genre. That other data is somewhere in these folders. The problem with any other info here is that it's based on one folder. Now, see what it will do if I ask explicitly for the author and genre information. Extract a list of book titles with their purchase date, author, and genre. Put this into a tabular format I can export to a spreadsheet. It's analyzing. Okay, now it's running Python, looping around the files that end up JSON, loading them. See, it's guessing that author or authors is in the JSON, but it's not. And, okay, I thought I might get this. So, free ChatGPT, I've hit the limit of the analysis it'll do. What has it done so far? In the sample data it's given me, I'm seeing title none, author none, genre none, just the purchase date. That's useless. So that's it for free ChatGPT. Next, I'll try the same exercise with Google Gemini. Again, I've got the free version. Same prompt. Upload and submit. Okay, so it just says, too many files to process, go away. Perplexity I don't usually use for file analysis, I use it for advanced search. But on the other hand, I have the pro version. Same prompt, attach file. It doesn't see the zip file. I switch to all files over here and see if it'll take it. File type not supported. Okay. Finally, Claude itself, and this is the pro version of Claude. Same prompt. There we go. I'm wondering if Claude Pro will see the many folders, unlike ChatGPT. Let's see how it's doing it. Okay. So it is spotting that there are multiple folders there. Okay. So file contains a comprehensive export of your Kindle data. So this is actually doing a decent job of giving me a proper description of the content. It would be nice if Amazon had included this. It identifies digital content ownership with the exact number of files. It isn't telling me what properties or attributes are in those files. So now I'll go back over to my ChatGPT session and I'll copy my requirements. So extract a list of book titles with their purchase date, author, and genre. Put this into a tabular format I can export to a spreadsheet. Hit submit. Yeah, it's focusing in on digital content ownership files, but they do not have the author. They don't have the genre. So now it's looking for the genre information. And now it's looking for the author information. Okay, has it found it? Where is the author information? So it's found the author information down in customer author name relationship. That sounds like a good area to go looking for it. This I noticed too, that in that main folder that has all the JSON files, the same content is in multiple files. So it's offering me a dedupe. Okay, so the more I look at this, the more the data is not right. So what I'll try to do, because this is all over the place and it's just not correct, I'll tell it again to give me what I asked for. I only want these columns: title, authors, purchase date, genre, and I will take the ASIN number. That's the unique identifier. For many rows, the author is in the purchase date, and the purchase date is in the genres column. There are other issues as well. Okay, the CSV files of Windows line endings. Right, so it's going to correct itself. That is the kind of problem I'd have tripped over when I on my way to whipping up a Python script. Close that. Okay, I will download this then. Comes down to my downloads folder. I'll just double click on it. It'll open in Excel. Okay. I'm still missing authors. Author missing, author missing. Suddenly all these genres go missing. Now I'm going to give the four chatbots a rating. Claude Pro wasn't a complete fail, but I'd have to do a lot of manual work in the spreadsheet, like transposing columns, and there's a lot of missing data, all those genres. I'll give it a D for trying. That may be a bit generous, maybe a D minus. Google Gemini and Perplexity couldn't deal with the zip file. I'll give them an F for complete failure. And ChatGPT might be similar to Claude if I had the paid version, but the fact that the free version, right from the jump, could only see one folder in the zip file was not a good starting point. I'll give it an E. So now I'm going to use Claude Code, which I run on my local machine in a Linux environment on a Windows laptop. I'm going to do some setup in my local Linux environment. I'm on a Windows machine, so I'll be jumping in between Linux and Windows. Here I am in Linux. I'm in a directory called Project, and I'm going to make myself a new directory. I will call it Amazon Data. I'll go in there. Just to make it easier for Claude Code, I'll copy over the Amazon data from my Windows folder into here. Toggle over here. This was the zip file. This is it unzip. I'll copy this entire parent directory over into my Linux directory. So I'll just hit Control C on that. This tab in my browser is down in that project directory. Just refresh that, and there is that directory I just created. And I'll hit Control V here, and that is now copying. Copy is done. Go back to Linux. I'll go into Kindle, and I'll now start up Claude Code. Start Claude. Do I trust the files in this folder? One for yes. I'm going to jump straight into the instructions. I just want to play around and see how Claude Code gets on. First of all, I'll give it some context. Kindle directory contains my Amazon Kindle purchase history. I want to extract the data into a spreadsheet with an entry for each book. Header is title, authors, purchase date, ISIN, and genre. Here we go. Right, it's working through every subfolder. Do I want to proceed? I do. Let's keep going. Okay, still working through the data. We're up to about 3 minutes now. What did I say? ISIN. Okay. And it's correcting me. It says use ASIN. Fair enough. So Cloud Code is now prepared to create this Python script. That'll do me. It all looks reasonable. So it's created the script. Now it's asking me if I want it to run. Please go ahead. Few books of no genre data where Amazon didn't classify them. Okay. So where is the output file? It's here, kindlebooks.csv. Okay, let's take a look. I will refresh here. Just refresh that. And there it is, Kindle Books CSV. I'll double click within Windows and open it. If I scroll down, I'm just keeping an eye on the genre. and I can see immediately that I don't have the massive gaps that I had in the chat version. In terms of authors, I don't see any missing authors. Oh, here we go. Here's one missing author, but the book, it's a compendium. It's a compendium from an organization called Mystery Writers of America. And that's it. That's the only one that's missing. And for the most part, apart from one book, which is actually about YouTube, it's this one here is about YouTube Shorts. It doesn't know what genre that's to go into. Probably would be something like media. So I'm not quite finished with what I want from Claude Code. And now I'm going to use its generative capacity. I'm missing a genre for one of the books, this book on YouTube. And I did go look, and to be fair to Claude Code, the underlying data for that particular book on YouTube Shorts, there is no genre against it in the files. It is genuinely missing from the source data. So let me see the extent of the coverage here. I'll just put a filter on genre and let me look for blanks. So it is just the one. Suppose that for my own purposes, genre is mandatory. Let's see what Claude Code will do for me. First of all, I'll get it to identify the rows that have a blank genre. Identify the rows in the spreadsheet with no genre. I'm not telling it that there's only one. So here, it's looking for missing data. Go for it. And it has found one book. Amazon simply didn't have a genre classification for it in the data export. Suggest an appropriate genre. Business and money is probably the better fit. So reading Claude Code's answer here about standard Kindle store genre categories, I'd like to know where it's getting that from. Hey Claude Code, where did you get a list of standard Kindle genre categories? So it seems to be suggesting that it made them up, and now it's going to take an alternative approach at looking at the list of categories in my data. What is it going to do? It's going to list them all. Okay, let's see what I've got. Here are the 19 genres. Where are the 19 genres? Control 0 to expand. Okay. So of all these genres, I think computers and technology is the most appropriate. Please update the CSV file for this row with the genre of computers and technology. Say yes to that edit. Now let me go and check. Oh, let me just search for YouTube. There it is. And computers and technology. So an example of data correction. Earlier, I gave 4 chatbots a rating for this project. Here's a reminder. Claude Pro scraped a pass. Book titles, at least, landed correctly in the spreadsheet. Much of the rest was wrong. ChatGPT got an E, basically for being able to access the zip file. Gemini and Perplexity couldn't deal with the file at all, so that was an F. How does Claude Code compare? Well, I gave it simple requirements, and it figured out what was where, the need for deduplication, and then in tying the data together, I didn't tell it that the ASIN code was a common identifier. I even mistakenly gave it the wrong term, and it corrected me. The data quality produced by Claude Code was excellent. I'm going to give Claude Code an A for this project.